Hey, second graders! Today we're going to do one of my most favorite things, which is to dive deep into a text and really figure out why we just read this book and what does this book mean. All right, so today you should have already pushed this slide here and listened to Mrs. Wine read the rest of the story. And now you are on this slide here that shows 3 different questions that we're going to answer. These questions here are deep questions. These are thick questions. They really take some thought. These are not the kind of questions that you think, okay, I'm just going to answer all of them real quickly and be finished. For each question, we're going to go back to the text and we're going to find some text evidence and we're going to do some thinking in order to really make sure we have good responses. Each one of these boxes needs several sentences, not just one, probably not even 2. And after you've written, you're going to do all those good things that writers do before they submit. You're going to reread. Make sure your response is clear. Make sure it makes sense. Make sure it sounds right. Make sure that you said everything you wanted to say. Make sure you've used capital letters, punctuation correctly. Your spelling is as good as you can get it to be. Your word choice, you've used the best words you can possibly use. Okay, so to start, we're going to take a look at this first question. How did the city change from the beginning of the story to the end of the story? We have to go back to the text to do this. I don't want to start writing until I've gone back to the text. So I'm going to take you back to the text because I've linked a YouTube video of the text. So we're going to move over to this tab. And here on this tab, you can see I've turned the audio off because we're going to go back to the text and we're going to look at just the pictures today. And in looking at the pictures, we're going to see if we can see how our this text has changed from beginning to end. The first thing I want to show you is here's the city in the beginning. The city in the end looks like this. What is different? Everything is different. Look at how this city has changed. In this picture here, it's bright, it's vibrant, it feels alive. You see all the color, all the bright sky, all the plants, all the things, windmills. Go back to the beginning. It really is dreary. It really is dark, it really is dreary. And I don't see any plants or really anything living. But when I go to the end, man, look at all that green, all that alive. We also know this story changed because here by the end, we finally see the people. And the people are doing these fun things. Man, this story has changed from beginning to end. So that's the first thing you're going to do. I want you to you might want to go ahead and just listen to this whole story read aloud and pay really close attention to that specific question. How has this story changed from beginning to end? And this is also a time where you can include some of your thinking. You could include, is it better? You could say has the city changed? Is it better? Is it not as good? Is it the same? Tell why you think it's better or why you think it's the same. Give specific examples. That's why I'm having you focus on these pictures. Tell me what looks different. What is different? And all of that is how you answer the question on that first slide. So I'm going to flip back over here now to this first slide. And I notice this is my space to type. So I want several sentences in this box. So boys and girls, before you watch any more of me teaching you how to do this video, I want you to stop this video and I want you to open up this slide and I want you to answer this question fully. And when you feel like you have answered it fully, then I want you to come back to this video with me teaching you, and we're going to go to the next one. Okay? See you in a bit. All right. So now you're back for the second slide. The text says, but the most surprising things that popped up were the new gardeners. Why do you think this was surprising? Well, here I am, and I'm thinking. The new gardeners. I guess it was surprising to me. I think it was surprising to me because that's a big change. Where there wasn't something, now there is something. Let's go back to the YouTube video and let's take a look and let's think about it. You might want to listen to the story again. You might want to listen to just that part again. I'm going to flip back over to the YouTube video, and then I'm going to get over here and I'm going to bring you back with me. Ooh, that's no good. I wonder why my YouTube is glitching like that. Well, goodness. That's not going to work. Let me reload this YouTube perhaps. No, it's still not going to work. Well, maybe it will. Let's see. There we go. Okay, that's better. All right, so where are the new gardeners? Where is that part of the story where the new gardeners pop up? Oh, I found it. Okay. So suddenly it changes from winter, changes to spring. Liam's back. He's making his garden. The garden is just growing and growing and growing. It's thriving. It's doing so well. And this is right after this right here. Suddenly, there's new gardeners. There's a gardener. Gardeners. I think when the question asks us, why is it surprising? We have to think about how it's so different from what it was in the beginning. So why is it different? And where were the people in the beginning? And now here they are. Those are all good things I want you to think about. Where were the people? What were they doing? We know they lived there. We know the people were in the city all along. But they weren't gardening, were they? They weren't. This was not important to them, or either that or they were too busy to have time for this. So think about that. And then you're going to come back to this slide here. And I'm going to bring you back here with me again. Record this tab. Put my face back. Okay. So, but the most surprising things that popped up were the new gardeners. Normally when we say things that pop up, we're talking about plants in a garden. But that wasn't the most surprising. The most surprising thing was these new gardeners. And why do you think that this was surprising? Or what? Just talk about it. And so I want several sentences here. And then when you've finished, I want you to go back to your slide and I want you to answer this question. And when you've fully finished this question, I want you to come back to my video. And this is the one we're really going to think about, okay? So go answer that and then come back. All right, boys and girls, we're ready to tackle the very last question. This is a deep question. What message do you think the author was trying to send in the story? And you've got to think about, why do they write these books? Don't you think that this author here is trying to get us to think about how, with the way that the story changed, to think about something that connects with us? We're going to go back to the YouTube video here. And I'm going to go back to the beginning of the book. This one here is one that it takes a minute because you really, and it's glitching again. Let me refresh this page again. I'm not really sure what's happening here. Okay, there we go. This is one that you really have to almost think about every page of this story. What is the author trying to show us? So I'm going to quickly share a few of my thoughts. You'll have your own thoughts. Okay, we go from having this boring, lonely, dreary city with no people. And I'm thinking that maybe there are no people because they are so busy with work and the kids are all in school and everybody's stuck indoors. And then I think that maybe even when they do get home from work, maybe they have more stuff they have to do. Like after you get done with your work and your school, and then you have to do things inside your house to get ready for the next day, and you have activities and all this stuff that maybe the people just did not have time to get outdoors and do things that they love to do. So maybe that's where they are. But isn't that sad when you don't have time to be outdoors and do the things you love? And then Liam, who is very, very curious and gets outdoors even on days that are dreary looking, and he discovers this garden that's starting to grow. And then this is where we first start to see some beautiful blue color. And then before you know it, we have lots of color, and Liam is filled with color. And things are suddenly starting to look up and get bright. So somehow this beautiful garden growing is just making things better and brighter. And then we get in and look at the cities just brightening up and filling with color. But it's not really until we get to, now even here, even in the gloomy winter, it's really not that gloomy. It's still bright. Liam is patiently waiting. He has hope because he knows spring is just right around the corner. And here he's getting his stuff together, and suddenly snow is melting. But this is where the people come back. It's almost like the people see all this beauty, and then they want to go be a part of it. And then before you know it, people are out. Suddenly people have time. Or maybe they're making time for what is important to them, but maybe they hadn't made time before. And I love all these beautiful pictures of all these people happy and enjoying the outdoors now. And then there's at the end our beautiful city. And I think, what is the author trying to tell me? It's got to be something with beauty, rediscovering beauty almost, because the beauty was there. And then somehow the beauty was lost when people kind of got lost into their lives and busy with everything. And suddenly when they made time again for the beauty to make their city beautiful, it's like they rediscovered that beauty, and they have this time now. And it makes me think that the author wants us to stop and look at our lives and think, are we doing everything that's important to us? Are we making time for things that are so important to us? Because we really should, because that's just part of being human in our lives. And so I want you to think about, what do you think this author is trying to tell us? What is the message of this story? How can we be better people? How can we live better lives? What can we learn from this book? What needs to become more important? All of those thoughts, boys and girls, use this video, okay, for the pictures and to remember the story. And this last slide here, I'm going to flip back to this last slide. This last slide is probably the one where you have to think the most deeply. And I want you to really think about what message the author wants us to receive by reading this story. Think about it and write me several sentences. Then when you have checked over all three of your responses, then you are to click turn in, and I will have your slide and I'll be able to see your thinking. All right, boys and girls, good luck today. I know that you'll be able to go deep.